Okay, now I'm going to try to get a little more complicated with multidimensional arrays. Um, let's start out by creating one. Let's do it with to store integers, and let's call it multi-array. And the way you start out is different than single dimensional arrays where you put two sets of square brackets. And then this part's weird too. You don't just stick values in here, you actually stick values in an extra set of curly brackets and separate them by commas for what you want. So let's put 1, 2, 3 in this one, 4, 5, 6 in this one, and 7, 8, 9 in this one. And then what that's done is created a multidimensional array called multi-array that has 3 rows and 3 columns. And then to display any of those, any particular one, this is row 0 and this is element 0 of row 0. This is row 1 and this is element 1 of row 0. Or you could say column of 0, column 0 of row 1. So let's see this. Let's do a system out print line, and let's just do if I can spell, multi-array, let's say 0, and then 0. And let's see what that gives us. And that just shows us the value 1, which came from here. That's row 0, column 0. So, for instance, if we went 1, 1, we would expect that to give us row 1, column 1, which would be the value of 5. So we run that. That's all, a little weird, but simple enough. But let's say we wanted to put that in a for loop. We'd have to use nested for loops, one to loop through all of the rows and one to loop through all of the columns. So what we could do is a for loop which did integer, let's call it row, start out at 0 because our index starts at 0. Then do it while the row is less than multi-array dot length. That's the length of the array, which in this case is actually 3, because there's 3 rows. And then not forget to increment our row. Then we do basically the same thing for the columns with one little twist. For column equals 0 while column is less than, here's the weird part, multi-array, then we do row dot length. What that's doing is looking into here and saying what the length of this particular row, in this case 3 and 3 and 3. The way I'm setting this up, these don't have to be all the same length for the rows as the columns, but just to make it simple for now, that's what I'm doing. And then let's not forget to increment our columns. Okay, now anything that I put in here is going to happen once for each column, and then also loop through and do each row in turn. So let's do our system out print line again, and let's say this is row, and then let's put in there what row we're working on at any given time, and let's do column And put a dash in here just to spread it out some more. Column. Let's try that. Then after each row is worked through, I would like to put a just a print line just to move to the next row. Let's see if this is working the way I think. Looks like I'm missing something here. I forgot system out print line. System out print line row. What am I forgetting? Oh, I forgot to tell this that it's defined in a variable, an integer type. Seems like I always do that. There, now we've got row 0, row 0, 0, column 0, 1, 2. And I screwed something up here. I don't want the row here, I want row column. Oh, and I forgot to put in a value. So let's put in value of, and then this would be multi-array row and column. And didn't like that I have an underscore in there. Let's see if this is more like it. There, so row 0, column 0, the value is 1. At row 0, column 1, the value is 2. See, row 2, column 1, the value is 8. Right there. So it seems like it works.